What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about my new favorite basic training skill in CoD WW2, and this is Blitzkrieg. When I first saw this at the studio and I first played with it a little bit, I knew I was going to like this, but I didn't think I was going to like it this much once we got into public matches. Blitzkrieg has pretty much completely changed the game for me. Now, for those of you guys that have been living under a rock and don't know what Blitzkrieg is yet, I'm sure most of you do, I'll just quickly go over the overview of it. It turns score streaks into kill streaks, and it also buffs the kill streaks while giving you a fourth choice for a kill streak on your class. One of my biggest complaints with Call of Duty World War II before this update, and this is something I was relatively vocal about, I talked about several times, is I felt like the gameplay rewards weren't all that great in CoD World War II. This was due to several reasons. One of the biggest reasons is I really like Domination. I'm a Domination player, and with Domination 50, it's extremely difficult to get the higher end streaks unless you run requisitions, in which case it becomes really easy, but it's not rewarded when the game hands you a streak when you're using requisitions compared to when you actually stay alive and keep a streak going, an actual streak without dying. In my opinion, the kill streak or score streak system is what launched the popularity of the Call of Duty franchise. It was that thing that kept us coming back game after game, just wanting one more game so that we could chase that high of earning one of the higher end streaks in the game and just decimating your opponents with it. Before this patch, I never really got that feeling with CoD World War II because the streaks themselves were relatively underwhelming. If you got a ball turret gunner, it bounces all over the place without Blitzkrieg, it only lasts for 30 seconds, and I often found myself only getting like 2 to 3 kills. I've actually had ball turret gunners where I've gotten 1 kill, literally 1 kill with the highest streak in the game. And to me, I found that to be really frustrating when you worked so hard to get that, assuming you weren't using requisitions, and it just didn't pay off at all. And because of this, I often found myself just running recon plane. Now, while sometimes I do enjoy just running that recon plane without the stress of trying to go on the high streak and then I can just be super aggressive and not worry about losing my streak, that style of gameplay gets old pretty quickly, especially when you're used to previous Call of Duty games where you had those in-game actual gameplay rewards to work towards every single game, and they were actually worthwhile to earn. With Blitzkrieg, these buff streaks are a significant improvement, as you'll see with the ball turret gunner later in this gameplay. While I was using that in this game, it brought back memories of older Call of Duties like the chopper gunner or the AC-130 of Modern Warfare 2, or that chopper gunner in Black Ops 1. It brought back those memories, and it felt great being rewarded with something that I feel I truly earned by going on that high streak. Another thing that I absolutely love about Blitzkrieg is I feel like it's an elegant counter to requisitions. Now, for those of you guys that have been around my channel, you guys will know I am not a fan of requisitions whatsoever, as I feel it devalues the overall score streak system by turning those gameplay rewards that we used to have to really work for and go on a streak to get. It basically turned them into power-ups just by changing out your basic training. I also feel the big issue with that is it's so much easier to get the high-end streaks with requisitions as it is to actually earn it the standard way. It basically feels like a slap in the face if you earn a ball turret gunner or a set of paratroopers the proper way when somebody with requisitions can call in that exact same streak as you. With Blitzkrieg, I really don't mind requisitions nearly as much. I mean, I still don't like it, but I think you're going to see a lot less complaints from me about requisitions because now I can run Blitzkrieg, I can generally get my higher end streaks before the requisitions users can get their higher end streaks, and my streaks are more powerful than their streaks. I've also noticed far fewer requisitions users in Domination because I think a lot of people have transitioned into Blitzkrieg because they want those more powerful streaks, and the streaks in Dom 50 are a lot more attainable now that they're kill streaks rather than point streaks with only 50 score per kill. So the addition of this one basic training skill, Blitzkrieg, has alleviated so many of the issues I've had with this game over the past 6 months or so since launch. Now, having said all this, I can also see the argument against Blitzkrieg, especially in objective modes like Domination. And I'm going to keep this focus on Domination as I talk about this so we can look at some hypothetical situations and things like that. A lot of the arguments against Blitzkrieg relate to the fact that people are not really encouraged to play the objective while using Blitzkrieg. They're not point streaks like we've seen in like Modern Warfare 3, for instance, where if you capture a flag, it counts essentially as a kill towards your streak. Only kills will count towards your streak, and therefore you are going to be getting lots of players that play Domination as if it's a TDM game, and it's almost like they're allergic to the objective. My opinion on this is these players are going to be there regardless of whether or not it's kill streaks or score streaks. You always get those guys that are going to be doing that. Yes, Blitzkrieg is probably going to lead to a bit more of that in the game. However, most good players understand that the most effective way to play Domination and get your streaks up, even if they are just kill streaks, is to capture 2 flags, get map control, and force the enemies to come to you. This is and always has been the most effective and consistent strategy to dominate domination matches. It's not about running in, throwing your body on the flag without really thinking about map control or anything, and trying to triple cap all the time, flipping spawns for your teammates, and just making things completely chaotic and unpredictable. It's about capping 2 flags, holding map control, and forcing the enemies to come to you. In my opinion, Requisitions encourages that sloppy objective play, where you're throwing your body on the flag, you don't care if you die or not, you don't care about map control, you're just trying to get as much score as possible, as fast as possible. If you have that map control, you're pushing for that 3rd flag, trying to flip those spawns so that you can get all that score on their flag. When you do that, you're flipping their spawns, you oftentimes lose both of your flags. In my opinion, that encourages really sloppy objective play. Blitzkrieg, on the other hand, I feel rewards proper, controlled objective play. So you push for map control, you capture 2 flags, and now the enemies are forced to come to you, and this is where you're rewarded. This is where you start racking up your streak, because the enemies are forced in a situation where they have to come to you, you can be set up, you can be ready for them, and as long as you're setting yourself up properly, you have the advantage in all of these fights. And this is what you're seeing throughout basically this entire gameplay. It's not the most glamorous gameplay out there. I'm not rushing all over the place, getting myself into a wide variety of situations. I'm controlling the map, specifically the area around the B flag. I'm making it so no enemy can touch that B flag, and I would argue that I'm absolutely the most objectively significant player on this team at this moment, even though I'm running Blitzkrieg, and even though I'm trying my hardest to get those highest kill streaks. Now, having said all this, and as much as I do like Blitzkrieg and how it interacts with Requisitions, if it were up to me, I would scrap both of these basic training skills. I would take Requisitions out, I would take Blitzkrieg out, and I would have a pure score streak system, and I would have all of the score streaks in the game to be as powerful as they are when you have Blitzkrieg on, and this would be my ideal way to play it. I would also make it so there's more score to go around in Domination, for instance, so that the streaks are a lot more realistically attainable the regular way in Domination compared to how they are now with Dom 50. It doesn't look like Requisitions is going anywhere, and since it's not going anywhere, I think Blitzkrieg is an excellent addition to go against it. Now, one thing that I definitely wouldn't mind seeing is more of a point streak system with Blitzkrieg. So if you do capture flags, then it gives you a point towards your streak. To compensate for this, perhaps with some of the higher end streaks, you could bump it up by 1 or 2 points so that it's not super easy to achieve these by just playing the objective a bunch. But I think that would alleviate some of the complaints that people have where they don't want people just kill whoring in objective game modes and completely avoiding those objectives. But even if they don't make this change, I'm still loving Blitzkrieg and I'm happy it's here. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. Of course, I'd like to know what you guys think of this basic training skill. Do you like Blitzkrieg? Do you not like Blitzkrieg? Let me know your opinions down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.